It must be something where it's just like off camera. He's actually kind of nice. He's actually pretty smooth and charming. It's just when he gets on camera, he's just like his asshole mode turns on.
I could see that.
Why are you such a jerk to me when we're in front of our friends? He's so nice when we're alone. Welcome to episode 4?
Yeah, episode 4 of, it's Untitled today.
Okay,
4.
We're going with Untitled Swamp Thing show. But what's the title of the episode?
Today's episode is... Drumroll, I know this one. What the hell was it?
Didn't you have it written down?
No. Shit.
Quick, to the DVD menu.
We can do this.
Well, while he's doing this, I am Meryl.
And I'm Eric.
And, yeah, like we said before, this is our This Week Untitled Swamp Thing show. I guess our gag is that we kind of change the name with every episode.
Yep. And today's episode came up a little bit short. But so did the episode, so I don't really feel that bad.
Yep, but today's episode is called From Beyond the Grave.
From Beyond the Grave.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it's a fitting name. It's a weird episode.
Very weird, lots of dream sequences.
Again, not much happens, but I guess something happened. I guess we do get a little bit of a plot point because at the beginning, Jim was a little spooked about having to move and, stuff.
Yeah, well, it's
so
not
to spoil what we're just about to talk about, but
yeah, this one doesn't start off with any sort of big exciting action sequence or anything. It's just Jim and his mom at their grandma's grave, and
yeah, that's literally just what happens in the beginning.
Yeah, and then they roll
right
credits.
Yep, a little bit. I don't know. Nothing. Well, you no idea why they're at the grave. What's going on there?
Well, they're just mourning. It feels like probably maybe a month has passed since Grandma's died.
Yeah, I suppose that's normal. People mourn. But yeah, opening credits roll, and our first scene after is Mom opening the door to pick up the paper, and we meet our revolving character of the episode, Everett Baxter. And he basically introduces himself. They used to go to school together.
And she doesn't remember him at all.
Nope.
And then he's like, yeah, they were just going to send this over, but I thought it would be better to do this in person. And it's just like, boom, you're cut out of the will. Boom, you're also evicted. Hey, what's up, bae? You remember me from high school? How you doing?
Yeah, so that's basically what happens. Baxter brings the will, very conveniently, I guess, but inconveniently, it does write Mom and Jim out of...
Yeah, writes them out of the will, leaves all the money to the town, and leaves all her land, which I guess... Does the mom own, like, a section of this, like a portion of the swamp, I guess, then?
I don't know, maybe. Somebody in the Langford family, the Langford family, does, or did. They seem to have some kind of hold in the town in some way.
But,
yeah, then after that, we cut to a scene of Jim kind of moping in the swamp.
He was like, yeah, I don't want to go back to Philadelphia.
And
I'll lose all the
Swamp Thing's first scene, too. Because he shows up, obviously, he's there.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's the only person that Jim talks to besides his mom is Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't
But I mean, he could still
friends.
Be roaming through the swamp without Swamp Thing there, possibly.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole reason he roams through the swamp is because there is someone who will talk to him that isn't his sexy mom.
That's true. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, Teresa is a babe.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Jim's all sad and mopey because he might have to move. Says he's going back to Philly. And
in West Philadelphia, right? And
yep.
And it turns out he's I guess Fresh Prince was already on the air at this point. Never mind.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. Redact that. We'll cut that out.
Man, you went there already. But yeah, then Swamp Thing brings up the fact that Mom talks to the trees, because Swamp Thing kind of already knew they were moving, and Jim was like, "How'd you know about that?"
Well, no, he was like, Grandma talks to the trees. And
is that who it was?
That's
Grandma?
how we knew that. That's how we knew that Grandma didn't like what was happening to the town.
She used to love this town, but she didn't like the direction it was heading.
So it makes sense that, the will would go to the town.
That's why it's all suspicious.
So yeah, then we begin our first dream sequence.
Yeah, pretty frightening. Jim is walking outside, and he sees an old lady, and he's like, "Grandma, Mama."
Yep.
That you?
The slowing down of the voices.
And she walks away, and then he runs up to her, and she turns around, and she's got just a big creepy smile on her face, and it's pretty scary. And then Jim is like, "What's wrong?" And then he wakes up.
By the way, the dream was also completely orange.
Yeah,
orangish red.
Yeah, all the dreams have have a weird orange filter over them.
Yeah, not quite sepia. It's more
like kind of what you get when you're walking under one of those orange street lamps. Kind of that kind of.
I thought that was almost like red to orange.
It was really orange. It was
vibrant.
Yeah.
Like hunter orange.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very orange.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, Jim wakes up and goes over to wake Mom because Mom's having some.
Yeah, Mom's also just like, "Mommy! Mommy!"
And, yeah, he was like, Mom, you were having a bad dream. And her reply is, "Thanks." And then she just rolls back over.
Well, her first reply when she wakes up is like, "Did I miss the alarm?" And it's like, no, it's still pitch black out. Your room is basically completely dark. And
Mom might work, she might wake up at 4:35 for.
Does she work? They've established.
I don't know.
They establish in this episode that she has money, but they still don't establish what she does.
You think just maybe they can't?
Yeah, I don't think they want to outright say prostitution, but I think that's what they're leaning towards.
Seems like it. I mean, she lets Jim hang out with all sorts of adults. That means she must have adults around.
Yeah,
enough for him to be used to that kind of adult presence. And she's a kind of I'm not gonna say a half-ass parent, but she's a very lax parent.
She loves her son.
She parents when it's important.
Important enough. She gets the lessons across that it's like. I feel like Grandma dying didn't help. I feel like Grandma dying is causing some kind of rift that we're not actually seeing, but it's definitely
something's
behind the scenes tension.
Yeah, we've never really seen things when they were good, but now things aren't as good as they normally are. It's assumed.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, moving on, we go into another dream sequence, and it's
because Jim is like, "No, Mom, you were just having a bad dream," and then she's just like, "Oh, okay, thanks," and then just immediately turns away from Jim, and then just
right back to sleep, and has a dream at this point, and it's a dream that
is her younger mom singing a creepy song about a boat, and her young self chasing her mom through the swamp,
and then there's also.
Well, that happened as she's chasing the mom through the swamp. The mom disappears, and she goes into the water, and then she sees a hand, and she's like, "Mom, Mom!" And so she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull my mom up from the water," and then it's just a disembodied hand or disembodied arm with grotesque bone and muscle sticking
Sticking
off the end of it.
Yeah, that was a little bit shocking.
Yeah.
That was an odd one.
And then she wakes up because that's terrifying. And she would rightly wake up because, that's a true nightmare.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Well, then, next scene, we've got Mom walking through the swamp, and it seems like she's contemplating all the things that she's got going on.
She goes back to that same weird chair in the swamp that we saw.
That must have been like her sitting place growing up or something.
Yeah, I feel like it, yeah. It used to be a bench, and then it kind of got reclaimed by nature, and she likes it. But yeah, we see the giant emerald heart necklace.
From episode 1.
Which we actually never said the name of.
The Emerald Heart.
Yep.
That was titled The Emerald Heart?
Actually, we probably said
Got back to
words.
That finally.
We probably said the words Emerald Heart in it.
I don't know about that. I think we just called it a heart necklace at that point. Finds necklace, leaves it.
But yeah, then Swamp Thing does... I don't know. Actually, I don't know if this is Swamp Thing doing it or if this is like the crazy grandma dream magic. But she like looks into a puddle close by.
Oh yeah.
And sees grandma singing that same song about the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she pretty much walks back to the house, and our next scene shows Anton pulling up.
Good old swarthy Anton. Yeah, he's apparently Tressa called him there, but it just seems to reinforce that he's just like, yeah, that will's airtight. I already checked with the city. And then Teresa's like...
Again, kind of overstepping, but like he doesn't live there. What's he doing all this for?
Well, I think she called him before.
Okay.
And he was like looking into it before he came.
Not realizing that he has something to do with it.
Yeah, but it's a thing of, it's just like every interaction you've had with this guy, he's just been creepy, and it must be something where it's just like off camera, he's actually kind of nice. He's actually pretty smooth and charming. It's just when he gets on camera, he's just like his asshole mode turns on.
I could see that.
Why are you such a jerk to me when we're in front of our friends? He's so nice when we're alone.
Well, then speaking of him being nice, he storms out of the house just saying, "Why'd you even ask me here?" Basically.
Yeah, and at the end of the scene, I was just like, why did you ask him there?
Yeah.
It was just basically to set up some exposition that it's just like, yeah, Grandma had a
different will.
And
this isn't the original one.
Yeah.
But then our next scene goes into Anton once again being a real great guy and bullies Everett basically into hunting down Teresa.
Yeah, it's so weird that it's just like, don't you have...
In a really oppressive manner.
Couldn't you send, like...
Flips the light down on him and stuff?
Yeah, flips the light down on him, shoves a hot dog in his mouth, and really demeans him, threatens his kids.
Yeah, how's your wife and kids doing, Everett?
You got 2, 3 kids now? But it's super weird that it's just like, why don't you just send one of your, like, monsters or one of your goons? Why do you have to send this, like, accountant to kill these people?
Well, do the monsters come out in public?
Well, Pigman was just out and about.
Where?
He was just out and about in the swamp.
In the swamp.
That's public. That's pretty public. They live in the swamp. They live swamp adjacent.
Yeah.
The kid hangs out in the swamp all the
like
time. The mom goes to contemplate
that's like going into
the
forest, going into the forest alongside the house and stuff like that.
That's like going into the forest alongside. Well, no.
It's like your backyard forest.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but we see in this episode that the swamp is very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. That is true. That is very, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, then anyway, nice transition.
Anywho.
Yeah, so I don't care about what you just said. Yeah, so after Everett gets bullied, our next scene is Jim running through the swamp.
Yeah, I think if we were watching this as it aired, there would have been a commercial break in between Everett being just made the bitch of, and
makes sense. It's the middle point of my notes, so.
And it's because it definitely seems like a thing where it cut from commercial break and Jim's running and there's some intense music.
Yep.
And another point where it's just like, oh, if this was a longer show, they could actually just show him kind of stalking Jim and being creepy instead of Jim just saying to, not even to Swamp Thing. There's a lot of shots where Jim's talking to Swamp Thing where it's just Swamp Thing's off camera. He's just kind of talking to the swamp over his shoulder. It's just like, I see what you're doing. I see how you're saving some
Jim says he's being chased by this scary math teacher guy.
Yeah, this guy looks like a math teacher.
And asks Swamp Thing the very wise question, do you believe in dreams?
And we already know Swamp Thing's opinions on dreams.
Yeah, only dumb
kids dream. And
now Jim wants to know if he believes in dreams, which obviously you do if you think somebody is dumb for having dreams. But we
also learn that Swamp Thing can't dream.
Yes, that's true.
He says that explicitly that he can't dream anymore.
Still, what kind of vague question is, do you believe in dreams? Does that mean you believe? Do you believe in the things you see in dreams? Is he saying that, or is he saying do you believe dreams exist? Dream? Do you believe that we see stuff when we go to sleep? Well, obviously.
Yes, it's the way that our brains unpack the events of the day.
I mean, does Jim know that Swamp Thing was once a man?
I don't know. I don't think they've ever even actually called him Swamp Thing yet.
Right, but the swamp.
No, I don't think Jim's ever asked. We so far have not learned any of Swamp Thing's backstory.
We just kind of assumably know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the show hasn't told us anything. I think we're supposed to have watched the movies.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, next scene, Mom's up in the attic.
Mom is up in the attic looking for a will. And
Jim pops up on her, spooks her a little bit.
Spooks the hell out of her.
Then basically reveals that he is having the same dreams as Mom. And brings up the song.
Oh, we forgot something. While Jim was talking to Swamp Thing earlier, he sings that same song. Kind of for no reason.
Yeah, just...
Kind of just out of nowhere. And then... And then
we get a repeat of it. We get a repeat of it 3 minutes later in the attic.
In the attic. And Jim's just like, and it's really uncomfortable because apparently Jim just sleeps in pajama bottoms and no t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And so this scene in the attic has Jim very uncomfortably singing off key, shirtless.
Yep.
So it seems. It's a little uncomfortable watching it.
And none of those shots were Jim and Mom in the same shot. It was always just Jim, and then just Mom, and then just Jim and just Mom. So I wonder if it, during the actual, shooting of that, it was just Jim by himself, shirtless, singing this weird
They
song.
shoot it kind of like they do a nude scene where it's just like, okay, we're not going to have a lot of people on set today. We're going to keep it real light.
It's just going to be you and me.
Now we know.
Now we know. Now we know.
That is a reference to...
Don't say it. Make them find for themselves.
No, people will hate that, and then we'll get angry Twitters.
Well, they don't know, but then they'll know.
No, but the people that do know will know, and now they'll know. But yeah, they Jim sings, and that brings.
Now we know.
Now we know. Oh.
What were you saying?
So yeah, Jim sings, and they.
Jim has another dream after that.
Oh yeah, another dream about a ship in a bottle. And I guess he learns the second verse to the song because he wakes up and sings the second verse to his mom.
But before he wakes up, Swamp Thing reaches out to him in his dream and says,
Jim, are you sleeping? Wake up, Jim.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he's like,
Wake up.
and it's like,
Are you dreaming, Jim?
can
Stop
Swamp
dreaming,
Thing
stupid.
go into people's dreams? Can he see what
He
Jim
can,
was
he can
dreaming?
bring people back to life. He can turn guns and people into trees. I think he can jump into some dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Jim and Mom had the same dreams again. They find out after they wake up, and they head to the swamp because they think they got some answers.
Yep. They wait till the morning sensibly, because you don't want to go traipsing around in the swamp at night. It's dangerous. There's critters.
Even though, if they would have gone during the night, they may have been safer, because guess who's also in the swamp?
Oh, Everett Baxter.
Everett Baxter, and guess what Everett Baxter has?
He has a longbow and a quiver attached to his belt.
Man, you're good.
I read the script.
And Everett Baxter's apparently a champion of the bow because...
Yeah, if you were paying attention to his previous scene in The Office...
where he's getting totally just harassed
shit
by
on.
Anton Arcane.
You see he has a little trophy with a little Archer Man on it.
Yep.
So he won an award.
Yep. So this guy's got some skills. So yeah, anyway, Jim and Mom come up to the big weird ship looking.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like a pile of
debris.
Yeah, like fallen trees and stuff with moss and weird hanging bits on it that's supposed to look like a ship, but it totally doesn't.
Yep.
But everyone's just like, oh yeah, it looks like a ship. This is where we need to be.
So then they head over to the ship, and there's this like weird sideways stump that's kind of like just a big like hollow.
Yeah, it's just a big
piece of log. Yep. And Mom sticks her hand pretty deep into it.
Yeah, she gets cut at first, and then she's just like, ouch, ooh, ow, I saw this in my dream, and it burst into flames. And then Jim's like, well, this isn't a dream, dummy. Basically, he didn't actually call her a dummy.
Yeah, but he implied it.
He implied it hard with that kind of squinty stare he does, because they have to film this shit outside.
Yeah,
and
that squinty stare, and he does it. He does it.
That's the thing. Any scene outside, it's like, okay, so Jim is a squinting, and he has a ring of sweat around his hair.
Yeah, that's swamp life, though.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're filming Florida. So they're filming in Florida for Louisiana. So you see a lot of the exterior shots of like the house have palm trees, like these big palm trees. And it's like, I don't think there's a bunch of palm trees in Louisiana. I don't know much about the bayou.
I was there when I was a child, but that was 23 years ago.
You're busy playing your Game Boy or something.
Yeah, and watching Captain Planet.
Oh, yeah.
I was on a kick of that at that point. But yeah, anyway,
Swamp Thing's kind of like Captain Planet.
Yeah, but the I mean, he is about the planet. But
he's kind of
he
just
doesn't have the morals.
In this show, he's kind of just about the swamp.
Yeah.
It seems like he can't leave the swamp without getting weak.
He can't leave the swamp without getting weak, and he just doesn't want things messing up his swamp.
You stay out of my swamp,
like
you
old
kids.
Man with a lawn or a garbage can or anything like that. But anyway, Everett's there with the bow. And then Jim and Mom find... their mom's got her hand up in the stump hole and pulls out the will. The original will.
And Jim's like, oh yeah, I saw Grandma put that in there the day before she died. Put something in there the day before she died.
Yep, and Mom accuses him of possibly... questions... Are you lying again, Jim? This isn't another one of your lies.
You
little
liar.
Little dastardly...
Just like your father.
God. And, so they head back to the house. But on the way back to the house, Everett's lurking around with that bow, and Jim sees...
Jim passes by him, and then Everett takes aim at his mom, but Jim turns around and sees him. He's like, "Mom, look out!" and tosses a stick at Everett.
More of like a half log. That thing was pretty hefty.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
I mean, it was enough.
It was a thing where he could still pick it up with one arm and chuck it.
Yeah, But if you got clubbed in the head with that, that would legitimately knock you out, I think.
Or knock you down.
Yeah. Disorient you for at least 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, and so he instead of shooting Mom, he accidentally shoots Swamp Thing.
Yep, right in the chest.
Right in the
Swamp
chest.
Thing breaks the arrow out of it, or out of his chest. Doesn't really pay too much attention to it, and then sicks the swamp, I guess.
Well, then Everett starts chasing after.
Would you
him.
say Swamp Thing had something to do with that outcome, though?
No, I don't think Swamp Thing's directly killed anyone since the first episode where he treed that guy.
But he didn't kill that guy. That guy's eyes opened in the tree.
Yeah, I know. That's even more terrifying. So yeah, I guess technically Swamp Thing hasn't been directly involved in anyone's murder.
Yeah. Anyway, Gator. Gator. Man, I just gave it away. Everett trips into the swamp.
And then
sees what do you think?
And then sees a gator.
Sees a gator, and apparently...
Or more accurately, sees stock footage of a gator.
Or a crocodile. I can't really tell.
I think it's a gator. I'm not sure, though.
Okay.
I'd assume it's a gator.
And it swims up and then does a little jaw opening, and I think that means you're assuming...
And they cut away, and we never see him again.
So we're assuming that the gator ate Everett.
And then it cuts to...
Anton... Yeah, Anton being a wreck in his lab and tearing shit up and knocking his desk over and inaudibly
screaming
what
something,
sounds like...
Yeah, something that sounds like Shakespeare.
Yeah, some kind of verse about...
Something just angry. Just something that just sounds angry. And then...
we cut to Jim saying thanks.
Thanks, Grandma.
Thanking Grandma with Mom. Mom was there.
It's a nice circle, nice story circle. We started off at the grave, and then we end with them at the grave.
Yep, and then we get a little shot of Grandma's hat.
Yep, Grandma's signature hat that I guess we saw in episode 1.
Yep, that was her hat that really defined her.
Yep, that was her key character.
And roll ending credits.
Roll credits. So, what would you give this episode?
It was better than 3. 3 I went way low, and if I remember correctly, gave that one a 2.
Yeah, 3 was real bad.
This one was at least more entertaining, and it felt like there was something kind of going on. However, nothing really happened again. The dreams were like...
The dreams, it seemed like they were trying to set up some kind of mystery of what the song is about.
They were trying really hard to make it a creepy episode at first.
Yeah, like the first 2 dreams are just like, oh, this
felt like almost it wanted to be a horror episode.
Yeah. Yeah, because the first two dreams are pretty terrifying. The one with the arm is legit like, oh, I could see this in a horror movie and it would work well. You could retool some things with it, but it's like...
That was creepy and weird.
Yeah, it's the thing of it's all you think you're pulling up someone you love from the bottom of the water and it's just their arm.
Yeah, nobody enjoys that.
But then the rest of them are just like, the rest of the dreams are just like, oh no, she's just kind of singing and it's weird.
Yeah, I'd say overall I give that one about a 4. Still not great. 4 out of 10. No, not doing great. Yeah, when I'm not doing out of 5, I do out of 10 here.
Yeah, no. Because if we did it out of a 5 scale, we'd still do like 5.5.
It would get things would get too much justice out of the lack of scale.
If we did it out of 5 scale, we wouldn't do it 5.5. That would completely defeat the purpose of a.
It's 2018.
But yeah, I think I give this 5.
Okay.
It's not the best. It's not the worst. It tells enough of a story, I guess.
Is that 10 achievable in your eyes?
I don't know.
Is this on a Swamp Thing scale? Or on a TV of everything going on scale, because
this is on a scale. This isn't on either of those.
Circa
scales.
1990.
This is on a scale of how much I enjoyed watching the episode.
Okay, just on a personal...
Actually, if I gave it, I think 5. 5's good for on just how much I enjoyed watching it because the dream sequences were when I was watching it the first time. I'm just like, what is this? What is going on? This is terrifying.
So
So yeah, 5 and 5.
collective 4.5. I can live with that.
Yep. So yeah. I guess we'll see you next time. Trudging through the swamp.
Trudging through the swamp.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm Eric, and
I'm Meryl.
yeah, he's Meryl. Have a day.
Have a day.